There is a massive building in the heart of West Africa that is made entirely out of mud and sticks. It stands as a giant sandcastle that has survived for hundreds of years against the harsh Saharan winds and heat. Mali is a place where history feels alive in every grain of sand and every ripple on the Niger River. Many people think this country is just a vast desert with nothing to see, but that could not be further from the truth. In this video, we are going to explore 20 things you can do in a land that was once the richest empire on earth. We will look at hidden libraries full of ancient wisdom and see how people live on the edge of massive cliffs. By the end, you will understand why travelers who make it here never forget the red dust and the gold sunsets. Let's start with the most famous site in the entire country, which is the Great Mosque of Djenné. This is the largest mud brick building in the world, and it is truly a wonder of human engineering and community spirit. Every year, the entire town comes together for a massive festival to replaster the walls with fresh mud and clay. They do this because the rain can wash away the surface, but the people ensure it stays strong for the next generation. Standing in front of those towering wooden beams sticking out of the walls feels like stepping back into the Middle Ages. Once you have seen the mosque, you need to spend some time exploring the old towns of Djenné that surround it. The narrow alleys are lined with houses built in a very specific style, called the Moroccan or Toucouleur style. You will see beautiful wooden doors and decorative windows that have looked the same for hundreds of years. Walking here is like navigating a maze where every turn reveals a group of kids playing or a woman selling spices. It is very quiet compared to the big cities, and you can really feel the weight of history in the air. Next, we have to talk about a place that sounds like a myth but is very real, which is Timbuktu. For centuries, people in Europe thought Timbuktu was a city of gold, but its real wealth was actually in books. You can visit the ancient libraries here, which hold thousands of medieval manuscripts covering science, law, and stars. These papers are hundreds of years old and were hidden in basements and desert caves to protect them from invaders. Seeing these fragile pages with my own eyes makes you realize how advanced African scholarship was long ago. While you are in Timbuktu, you cannot miss the Great Mosque, which was built all the way back in 1327. It was commissioned by Mansa Musa, who was probably the richest person to ever live in human history. The mosque is made of earth and organic materials, and its sandy color makes it blend perfectly into the desert landscape. It has survived for 7 centuries and still serves as a place of prayer for the local community today. The roof is supported by massive pillars, and the interior stays cool, even when the sun outside is burning hot. Now we move toward the center of the country to see one of the most unique landscapes in Africa. The Bandiagara Escarpment is a massive sandstone cliff that stretches for about 150 kilometers. This cliff is the home of the Dogon people, who have maintained their ancient traditions for a very long time. Hiking along this ridge gives you views that look like they belong on another planet, with orange rocks and deep green valleys. It is a long walk, and the sun is intense, so you have to bring plenty of water and a good hat. As you explore the cliffs, you will notice tiny buildings tucked into the cracks of the rock high above the ground. These are the Dogon cliff dwellings, and many of them were built by the Telem people over 1,000 years ago. The Dogon used these high spots as burial grounds or storage areas for their grain and precious items. The architecture is amazing because they built these structures in places that look impossible to reach without modern climbing gear. You can see the small windows and the conical roofs of the granaries, which are built to keep out pests and moisture. After leaving the cliffs, you should head to the city of Mopti to see the Mosque of Komogol. This mosque is a perfect example of the Sudano-Sahelian style, which uses natural materials to create grand shapes. It is often called the little sister of the Djenné Mosque because it has a similar look, but on a smaller scale. Mopti is a busy port city where the Niger and Bani rivers meet, so the atmosphere here is very lively. The mosque stands as a calm sanctuary in the middle of all the trading and boat traffic happening nearby. Now let's head into the capital city of Bamako to get a taste of modern Malian life and culture. The National Museum of Mali is one of the best museums in West Africa, and you should definitely spend a few hours here. They have incredible displays of traditional masks, ancient pottery, and even textiles that show how diverse the country is. The museum building itself is beautiful and sits in a quiet park where you can escape the noise of the traffic. It gives you a great overview of the different ethnic groups like the Bamana, the Tuareg, and the Fulani. If you want to see where the real action happens, you have to go to the Bamako Grand Market, also known as Marché Rose. This place is a sensory explosion, with the smell of roasting meat, the sound of music, and bright colors everywhere. You can find anything here from hand-woven baskets to old radio parts and mountains of fresh tropical fruit. It is very crowded, and you will have to get used to people bumping into you as you walk through the stalls. Be prepared to haggle for prices because it is a big part of the social interaction in any Malian market. When the city gets too loud, you can find some peace at the Parc National du Mali, which is a huge green space. It has a botanical garden and a small zoo where you can see animals that are native to this part of Africa. Local families come here on the weekends to have tea and enjoy the shade under the massive trees. It is a great place to sit down and process everything you have seen while watching the clouds move over the city. The air feels much cleaner here, and it is a popular spot for people to go running or exercise in the morning. For the best view of the entire city, you should take a drive up to the hill known as Point G. From this high vantage point, you can see the sprawling city of Bamako and the wide Niger River cutting through it. You can also see some ancient rock paintings in the caves nearby, which prove people have lived here for thousands of years. It is especially beautiful at sunset, when the lights of the city start to flicker on and the heat begins to fade. The breeze up on the hill is refreshing, and it is a favorite spot for local students to go and study. Leaving the city behind, we should go back to Mopti for a sunset panace ride on the river. A panace is a traditional wooden boat that is long and narrow and often painted with very bright designs. Floating on the water while the sky turns orange and purple is one of the most peaceful things you can do. You will see fishermen throwing their nets and women washing clothes on the riverbanks as the day ends. The water is the lifeblood of Mali, and seeing life from the river gives you a totally different perspective on the country. If you are interested in art, you must visit the town of Ségou to see how bogolan or mudcloth is made. Artisans use fermented mud and plant dyes to create intricate geometric patterns on hand-spun cotton fabric. The process is very slow and requires a lot of skill to get the designs just right without making a mess. Each pattern often has a special meaning or tells a story about the person wearing the cloth. Watching them paint with the dark mud on the yellow fabric is like watching a magic trick happen in slow motion. A short boat trip from Ségou will take you to the pottery village of Kalabougou, which is famous across the region. The women here are master potters, and they create massive jars and bowls using only their hands and basic tools. Once a week, they pile all the pottery into a giant heap in the middle of the village and set it on fire. The entire community helps with the firing, and the sight of the glowing red pots in the smoke is incredible. It is a tradition that has been passed down from mothers to daughters for more centuries than anyone can count. If you are lucky, you might get to witness a traditional mask dance in a Dogon village. The dancers wear tall wooden masks and costumes made of dyed fibers that represent different spirits and animals. They move to the rhythm of loud drums and leap high into the air in a display of strength and balance. These dances are not just for show but are an important part of religious ceremonies and funerals. The energy of the performance is intense, and the sound of the drums will stay in your head for days. Mali is also world famous for its music, and you should spend an evening listening to some live Malian blues. The kora is a stringed instrument that sounds like a harp, and it creates some of the most beautiful music you will ever hear. In Bamako, there are many small clubs and outdoor venues where you can hear master musicians playing late into the night. The music is soulful and deep, and it has influenced many genres in the West like rock and roll and jazz. You don't need to understand the language to feel the emotion in the voices of the singers. While you are shopping for souvenirs, look out for the beautiful Tuareg jewelry made of high-quality silver. The Tuareg are nomadic people of the desert, and they are known for their incredible metalworking skills. They make intricate pendants called the Cross of Agadez and heavy bracelets engraved with secret symbols. Each piece is handmade, and the silver is often traded across the Sahara for other goods and supplies. Buying from an artisan cooperative ensures that the money goes directly to the people who spent days making the piece. For those who love nature, a hike to the Sibi Arch, also known as the Kamajan Arch, is a must. This natural rock formation looks like a giant doorway carved into the side of the mountain by a giant. Legend says it was created by a powerful king who struck the rock with his sword to show his strength. The hike up is a bit steep, but the view from the top of the Manding Mountains is worth every step you take. The rocks are a deep red color and they glow intensely when the sun hits them at the right angle. One of the rarest sights in the world is the herd of desert elephants that live in the Gourma region. These are the northernmost elephants in Africa, and they have adapted to survive in the extreme heat of the Sahel. They migrate in a giant circle every year to find water, and they can walk huge distances in a single day. Seeing these massive gray animals moving through the dry scrubland is a powerful reminder of how tough nature can be. You need a good guide to find them, because the area is vast and they move very quickly when they want to. Finally, you should make the trip to see Guina Falls, which are often called the Niagara Falls of Mali. Located on the Senegal River, these falls are a massive wall of crashing water that creates a constant mist in the air. The sound of the water is a thunderous roar that you can hear from a long distance away as you approach. It is a great place for a picnic and to marvel at the power of the rivers that sustain life in this dry land. The rocks around the falls are slippery, so you have to be very careful where you put your feet while walking. Now we have to talk about a serious challenge, which is the safety and logistics of traveling in Mali right now. Parts of the country have been unstable for several years, and some regions are currently not safe for international tourists. You must check your government's travel advisories and talk to local experts before you plan any trip outside the capital. Hiring a local guide is not just a luxury, but a necessity to help you navigate the landscape and the local customs. They know which roads are safe, and they can help you communicate with people in rural areas who don't speak much French. Despite these challenges, the reward of visiting is a deep connection with a culture that is incredibly warm and welcoming. The people of Mali believe in something called teranga, which is a word for hospitality and looking after guests. If someone invites you to share a meal of tiga de Guinea, you should definitely say yes and join them on the mat. Tiga de Guinea is a delicious peanut butter stew with meat and vegetables served over a huge plate of white rice. It is the ultimate comfort food, and it will give you plenty of energy for a long day of exploring the desert. You should also try the local street food like the fried fish called Captain Sanga, or the sweet donuts known as bafloto. The best time to visit is during the cool and dry season, which runs from November to February. During these months, the temperature is much more comfortable for walking around, and the skies are usually very clear. The rainy season can make some roads completely impassable, and the heat in the spring can be dangerously high for tourists. Make sure your vaccinations are up to date, and you will definitely need a yellow fever certificate to enter the country. A visa is also required for most visitors, so check with the nearest embassy well in advance of your flight. Mali is a place that challenges you, but it also gives you a perspective on history that you cannot find anywhere else. It is a land of kings and scholars and beautiful art that has survived against all odds in the middle of the desert. If you respect the local traditions and travel with an open heart, you will find that Mali is one of the most rewarding places on earth. Click the video on your screen right now to see another amazing destination in Africa that you probably haven't visited yet.